line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up. Finger to the sky and a green light shining bright. The only thing I have in mind is the finish line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up.
And hello again, everyone. Welcome back to PTM Racing TV. We're live here tonight for our nightcap here at Iowa Speedway with the Pedal to Metal Racing League ARCA Series as we do battle for 120 laps to the distance. We are going to go live here tonight yet again for another short track racing action-packed adventure right here on PTM Racing TV. Hi again, everyone. I am Christian the Crusader Shriver. Welcome back to PTM Racing TV again. As we were showing earlier here with Flyby Cup Series, now we return to a little bit of a smaller end track area, smaller lower round if you will, kind of getting the drivers into a whole new light and a whole new world. It's down and about here with our Pedal to Metal Racing League ARCA Series as we cap off the Season 2, Week 7 time now. After returning from a week on break, it's time to get back to the action here. Let's get this one figured on in. So we're going to start with our drivers on the pole. Let's start off from the top. That'll be the 47 of Robert the Rattlesnake on in the Mopar Chevrolet. Is outside will be the Indy stock number 17 of Jonathan Big Smoke Atkins. Row 2, we'll see the 16 of Christopher No Chef. You don't ever call the man Pip Bendel, and the 16 machine is outside will be the 3 of Lance Brantlinger. Row 3, we see the GoDaddy number 7 of Cindy Taylor. Her outside will be the 24, Kayla, the Pride of Texas, McCarthy. Row 4, we're going to see the 20 of row 5 anyway, we're going to see the, row 4, we're going to see Jeffrey Oaks at the 20. His outside will be the 8 of Keith Taylor, Checkmate Taylor to be exact. And I-99 of Ian Yeager and the 84 of Matthew Hofford. And then the 30 of Dustin Rouse with the 11 of Warren Young and Chantel the Throttle Pottle rounding out your field. Drivers ready and locked and loaded here as we get situated on by here. Everybody jockeying into position, getting ready to go here. And you know, I said it before and I'll say it again. There ain't nothing I love doing more than calling these guys when they come out here. These guys and gals, the men and women of our sport. The esports series have all come from great heights, great lengths to all bring you guys a show, and they always come out to give you a good battle and a good race. And it's been a long, hard road for some of these drivers and a longer, tighter battle for others. Now, as we get situated on in and get ready for this one, this should be a good one to say the least here, folks. You got to be watching this one here because this is Iowa Speedway, short track racing at its finest and short track racing at its toughest. This track eats away drivers and it eats tires up like nobody's business. Look for the drivers to get a little bit down on the bottom apron there. Look them try to apex them off. But watch as they go in later on. They'll start to work more in the middle and the high side. And that's where you're going to really see a changing of the guard and a changing of the spot when all is said and done. So as we get our ARCA drivers ready to go here, Sticky Icky 17 and Jonathan Atkins is outside there. The 47 of Robert the Rattlesnake on brings them on by to the front stretch. Green flag flies 120 laps of the distance for the ARCA Series. Back on in, down and about out of turn 1. Back on down in there, the 47 there. Robert Kahn off to a strong start, but Christopher No Shift, don't call him Bit Bendel already on a fine note here, and we've got trouble. Two cars have spun on around here. Keith Checkmate Taylor and the 7 of Cindy Taylor. Let's go to the PTM Instant Replay and find out what happened here. Not the start you wanted to see here. Well, already off that start, looks like Cindy and Jeffrey Oaks kind of tagged in there a little bit. You see some damage there on the 999 of Ian Yeager. Already huge damage up on his end there, unfortunately. Not what you want to see to start this one off. We'll go to the replay on another angle here and show you what happened exactly and see if maybe we could see maybe if it was just on it was an act or what happened in this case. Right there you see kind of caught the corner panel there and unfortunately went for a ride and a half there, nowhere to go on that end. So that means we have to re-rack, restack and all that and get everyone situated on by. Dylan Herbaden, just a few hours ago, coming off that huge win from Talladega. Congrats again, buddy. He's on the comment section with us. Same with Cooper Rollins and Kenneth Crawford saying, watched old Robert practice today very fast. He is indeed, my friend. He will definitely be one of the guys you got to keep your eye on tonight for this one. A lot of hard drivers and a lot of hard battles to be had here with these guys. So as we get them situated on in real quick, folks, we'll go ahead and say a little word to our sponsors before we get back to action. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back as we get a little bit of a cleanup job in turn one. Tonight's race sponsored in part by our good friends over at Matt Mills Racing Team, the best Xfinity team out there, sponsoring and supporting Pedal to the Metal Racing League this season. If you want to support Matt Mills Racing today, be sure to follow them up at Matt Mills Racing on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. By Mid-Cities Air Conditioning and Heating. You ever find yourself in a little bit of heating and cooling units to be fixed in Keller or Richland, Texas? Well, stop on over to Mid-Cities Heating and Cooling for a troubleshoot. They'll get the job done right the first time. By Affordable SEO and Marketing. With services provided like web design, pay-per-click advertising, PPC, logo design, business cards, shirts, hats, pens, candy, and more, it's time you outrank your competition online today. And by, of course, Amber's Floral Creations. If you're looking for the special flowers for that special someone, be sure to visit and call up Amber's Floral Creations at 321-228-3135. As we get our situated out here and get the drivers back on around here, hopefully there'll be no more of that nonsense tonight. Unfortunately, though, with these ARCA cars, they are very touchy when it comes to getting pushed around or touched at all, and they can send you for a loop and send you for a ride, if you will. So they're definitely going to have to stay focused on keeping it under control and under stabilized position. There's a lot of laps here to run here, and there's a lot of racing to go, as we are now going to initiate the one to go the next time by, it appears. Driver's not quite ready yet, not quite situated by. Get a good look at the 11 Callaway Golf Machine there, Warren Young. Bringing a new scheme out there. Of course, the Mid-Cities Air Conditioning and Heating. 24 of the Pride of Texas herself, McCarthy, Kayla McCarthy. The old Goodwrench Service, number 3 of Lance Brantlinger. Bo McVeigh has joined us on in. Bo, it is good to hear from you, sir. It's good to see from you as well. As you see that Sticky Ghost 17 there, newly designed and newly wrapped up for Jonathan Atkins. Usually you see the black and red. He decides to go with the ghostly, spooky gray and white, if you will. Pretty sweet look at that, if I had to say. So guys, we'll bring him on around here, down out of turn 4 here, and get him situated one more time around. I believe now this next time by, we will be back underway. Keith Checkmate Taylor getting some time to get out of pit road and getting some time back up there after that little issue that his sister, Sydney Taylor, got into a little earlier. Drivers will stay under caution just one more time around. They got to get everything worked on in. A lot of laps here to be sure, and a lot of laps to be had, of course. This one's definitely not going to be for the faint of heart. Nobody here definitely wants to lose, and nobody here wants to give up any time or ground for good reason. This track is very hard to really come back from when you get loose or cornered off too much of it. You've got to stay focused on your line and stay focused on your driving and hope that you can stay in the running. The heartland of America has one of the fastest short tracks in the world, but this track also is one of the most treacherous if you're not careful, and for good reason, as I mentioned earlier. But right now, as they get them on by here, you can see our drivers lining up in a position. They know what's coming next. They've got to line up for the gridding order to start this one back up. One to go now. So the drivers have rotated on up and got into position here. By the way, I don't know who put that Miller Lite sign in the background, but somebody go and change that. We all know Busch Light is the drink, the beer for Iowa. Thank you very much. Well, we'll get them on by here and get them situated through, and hopefully see the drivers come back to life and have a good run here on the start. As they bring him off out of turn 3 into 4, Robert Kahn will lead him the way, and Christopher No Shift, don't call him Pit Bendel, hopes to take it away from him. We'll see, though, as they come on by out of turn 4. This track burns up tires and it burns up cars really quick. They've got to be careful about this one. The green flag flies here. We're back underway here. Let's get back to racing. Back on through. We come down and about out of turn one down into turn 2 they go. Right on to the throttle battle, back on they go. Christopher No Shift, don't call him. Pit Mendel doing battle here with the 17 of Jonathan Big Smoke Atkins as Robert Kahn gets an early start off that one. Nice and smooth off the corners there. Runs him on by as you see. Caleb McCarthy now fighting him on in with Lance Brantlinger. The Pride of Texas trying to get a jump there to the inside line. Moves on in down turn 1 straight to the bottom. Brantlinger tries to apex it right off the middle. Back onto the attack. Here he goes. Trying to fight off the McCarthy. And the assault here coming for Robert Kahn. This Christopher No Shift. Don't call the man Pit Bendel. He's one of few drivers to only win in the ARCA and the late models. The other one, well, the guy is right behind him. That's Robert the Rattlesnake Kahn. He has got himself into victory lane quite a few times. And Jonathan Atkins, I believe, has not got a win in since a while back ago. But I believe he has a late model victory. He's looking to try to change that tonight. He had a very close chance of getting that ARCA Series victory a while back, but unfortunately, overdriving it a little bit in the corners and overcompensated, unfortunately cost him time and ground there to put him back in the pack. And now, as you see the drivers work on through here, everyone's jockeying for position, jockeying for their line, finding their spot here as a 16 of No Shift, don't call it, Bip Endo gets the run. The Roush Autism Awareness Speaks machine has got a good line to the pocket. He's got a good line to the area and zone he needs to be in to take the race lead. Right behind all of them in the battle for 5th here, Lance Brantlinger going at it here with Warren Young and Jeffrey Oaks as they swing it on by for a 3-wide salute coming out of turn 2. Warren trying to hang in there with Lance Brantlinger. Brantlinger trying to hold his own, trying to stay ahead. Ain't this something here for you? The father and son cars at it here, but there definitely ain't no relation between Brantlinger and Jeffrey Oaks, that's for sure. But nevertheless, they'll take him on down, around, down, front straightaway, still at it here, going at it as hard as they can, trying to stay with this one. Right back on the attack, Ian Yeager in the 999, going at it with the Dustin Rowz 30 Bomberman machine. Through and through we go, down out of turn 2, they singing on through. Neither driver giving any chances up or inches on this one. As Chantel, the throttle bottle in that 5 now, starts to fight her way back on in. Maybe looking for a run or two there as Jeffrey Oaks now tries to get back up into the hunt. Trying to stay ahead of trouble and stay out of, well, I should say stay out of trouble and stay ahead of the situation when the time comes. Lance Brantlinger in that 3 machine. Put him on through, they go side by side there with Chantel. Jeffrey Oaks trying to stay in his course, trying to stay on his line and stay with the momentum. Each driver doing their own thing, running them as hard as they can, but neither one giving an inch here as they build them up and bow them on by. Run through. Ah! Jeffrey Oaks gets a tap and a half from Chantel. Very similar to what happened to Cindy Taylor earlier on turn 1 between her and him. And that definitely was not what you wanted to see here. Unfortunately, though, the momentum is going to slow him up down quite a bit. He's going to need a caution or two to help get this one back underway. But we've seen Jeffrey Oaks do crazier things before. He has worked his way from the outhouse to the White House before. Someone else very similarly has done that, I might add. Hopefully he's still in the comments section. Candace B. McCarthy has joined us on in now. Candace, wife of Kayla, the Pride of Texas. Always a good foundation of drivers there. The McCarthy's always a good front town time to talk with. They've always been good to Pedal the Metal Racing League and always good to PTM Racing TV. And we do appreciate you guys for that. As in the comments, she roots on her girl Kayla and that old 24 machine. Back on around the back straightaway we go here. Lance Brantlinger challenged up by the 11 of the Callaway Golf of Warren Young. Warren sneaks on the inside line now, builds up momentum to get him by there as he comes on down out of turn 4, still hanging with him. Not giving any chances up or not giving any room to this one. He's going to try to find a move. Checkmate Taylor going at it here with Chantel, the throttle Pottlez. They battle him on back in, and a 3-wide salute cleared up by Dustin Rowz and Matthew Hoffert there. As a 7 of Cindy, the closer, Taylor. Whoa, behind though they go with a 3-wide. Rowz gets a little too hard there. Out of turn 3 into 4, and you can't overdrive it. Remember what I said earlier, if you overdrive these corners, you're in trouble. Hey Candace, how you doing? It's good to hear from you, girl. Right on around we go here, and you can see the battle still raging on between the top 5 and on back. Warren Young trying to fight his round and find his way. Still haven't been able to come up with a nickname for him yet, but I'll tell you one thing, he definitely hard charges it when he can. He's been struggling though, I will say that right now. Ever since he joined in iRacing, He's been telling me, man, I've been needing to practice more and more and get time to get these figured out, because every time I race, it seems like I'm always missing that one little spot, that one little thing that made me good in heat, and I need to get that back in iRacing. I told him flat out, you should just go back to dirt track racing like me and you do all the time. That seems like the only thing we know how to do really well in this stuff. I can't drive asphalt for crud, but man, I love running those dirt stars. Give me a dirt car any day of the week, throw me in a late model, throw me in a dirt stock, and we'll have some fun with that. Still figuring the UMPs and all them out, but that's beyond the point. Let's get back to the action here as Christopher No Shift, don't call him Pit Bendel, as we go on board here with him. I'm going to show you what's making him so dominant right now. Watch very carefully how he corners up this apex. See, as he gets halfway through there, he lets it go down to the bottom, progresses up to the turn. These progressive turns are what really make Iowa its own unique flavor, its own unique style of short track racing. Very similar to the dirt style racing. It's all about how you maintain control and how you handle yourself out on the track. And you can see how hard he's having to hold his line and hold his position out to stay away from Robert the Rattlesnake Khan here. But Caleb McCarthy is starting to challenge him up as well, starting to make some serious moves and climbs back up to the top as the 11 of Warren Young still fighting it out there with Lance Brantlinger. Top battle for fifth right now as Brantlinger holds that position up, still hanging in this one. Kimberly S. Atkins rooting on for her girl, Jonathan Atkins, right now. Kimberly, it's good to have you on board here yet again, and hope you're enjoying the show so far. Right now, though, Atkins currently faltering back a little bit. He's in the back of the pack, I believe, right now, struggling to kind of keep up with these guys. Not sure where he's at, actually. Well, it says he's at fourth, so he's like, oh, there he is. There's Big Smoke, Jonathan Atkins here. Doing his run, riding his line. We're going to go on board here with him. You can see how hard he has to hang on to those corners and really keep diving into that turn, trying to hang in there and do what he can to stay with this one. But right now, as you see, Robert Kahn finally caught up there with Christopher No Shift, don't call him Pit Bendel, as they swing him on down out of turn one. Bendel might have used up a little too much tire wear there, might have used up maybe a little too much ground on his area now. You can see him kind of laying off that throttle a little bit. Robert the Rattlesnake Khan, he is extremely a danger when it comes to running the long-term races. Short-term wise, you got a chance to beat him, but when he's got a long-term setup built in, he'll fight you for everything he's got here. Kimberly, then I'm out. Just kidding. Oh, come on, Kimberly. You can't just run away from us like that. That's not nice. Oh, Bendel right up into the wall protection there. He manages to get off of that, but the barricade definitely slowed him down a bit. That opens the door up for the pride of Texas herself, McCarthy. Builds him on down. We're on board here with McCarthy. The pride of Texas has a front view to this one here. Seeing how this one plays out, you can see how hard she's trying to tackle this car in. Trying to get up there with the 47 there. Robert the Rattlesnake Khan as Robert builds on in. No Shift, don't call it. Pit Bendel is fighting for all he's got on the outside line. He's trying to stay ahead of the curve here. He can't quite clear Robert though. Robert is right on his tail. A great battle for the lead. Through here out of turn two here. Now Robert trying to build back the momentum he had a minute ago, but it looks like Bendel might have actually strayed a little bit better off those corners than he did. You can see how low they are fighting for it and how hard they're having to take on this one, a fourth of the way there now as they continue it on by. Now Robert's going to be the victim here as McCarthy, the pride of Texas, and the Americans' home Heartland, fighting him on in. Whoa! Still hanging on there, still doing what they can here. Battle him on back in. Now McCarthy now challenges up for that second spot. Robert Kahn's in the wall there on the side. Scrapes and bruises don't do too much to the car, but you got to be careful about how much you do to it. Trying to fight it out here, trying to hang in this one, coming on down out of turn two. Yeah, I know, Kimberly, you're just kidding. I just like to mess with people around here, but win or lose, I still love them. Yep, sure there, my girl. Rodney Christensen's joined us on in. Great to have you on board there, Rodney. Riding about to go down to the front straightaway out of turn four. Still in this we go. We're not giving up just yet. This has been a pretty good battle, to say the least, here from the top spot. Drivers in the back right now. Well, Dustin Rowz catching up there with Chantel, the throttle pause. They swinging them on by down out of turn 1 here. Chantel trying to stay in the line here, trying to hold out that number 5 Matt Mills Racing Machine. Hoping for a little bit of help and a little bit of love here. I talked to Dustin Rowz earlier today, and he said, you know, the biggest difference that came from running the dirt to the asphalt is, at least with dirt, you know, you have a lot more, you have to figure out how to see the track change and how to adjust to it. Whereas with asphalt, you got to learn how to adjust the car really more than you do the track. And that's really been his big struggle, he said, is just trying to figure that in and try to get something done right. And I'll tell you, Dustin, man, when he gets it going, he'll fight hard. He'll give it all he's got, but he's been struggling. He's been having some issues out there. He just wants to finally get himself a nice little race battle in and maybe get himself a victory. He has never won on the Pedal Metal Racing circuit, and neither did this man, the Red Bull 84 of Matthew Hofford. But it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago at Charlotte Motor Speedway. That all changed in the late model series when this man fought, scratched, and clawed his way to a tremendous finish as he managed to sneak around Robert Kahn and McCarthy after they got into it out of turn 3 to take home the W. And look at this now, Jeffrey Oaks in that 20 machine. He's starting to build momentum up in the Budweiser's car. The Budweiser 20 going back and forth here with the Bomberman, number 30 of Dustin Rowz. Rowz gets the inside. They open it up there, and Rowz trying to stay out of trouble. Maybe trying to get a rhythm there as Jeffrey Oaks looks to eye the 5 of Chantel, the throttle Pottle. Chantel giving everything they can to stay in this one, trying to build up momentum to stay out of trouble and out of the zone. But you can see Oaksy is really building up momentum and starting to carry through even harder as they come on by out of turn 4. Work them on by. Everyone in the back to the front are all doing their own battles here, doing their own thing. Chantel has the 8th spot right now, but that could change as Jeffrey Oaks looks like he's got a little bit of a better run there. Squeezes on in, steals his position. But Chantel does not give an inch there. Nice driving from both ends here. Either driver wants to quit, neither one wants to give here, but the tires are definitely burnt in quite a bit. Rodney Christensen saying, watching some live good racing. Indeed, indeed, my friend. Around and about out of turn 1, back on in. You can see the 30 of Dustin Rowz up under the wall protection, having some troubles. Gonna see if maybe he can bring it back on in and get it situated by as they run him on down that back straightaway here yet again. All drivers doing what they can, all drivers giving it all they've got to try to secure a race win. But there is so much going at stake here for these guys that's not even funny. Through on through here now, Dustin Rowz to the inside, trying to make a move around Chantel. A little loose, she goes out of turn 2. Couldn't quite hold it there and got a little bit sideways there, managing to hold off some trouble, but Rowz is not going to be denied this one. He brings on around inside turn 4, and he is still fighting, and Hofford into the wall out of turn 4 down the front straightaway. I got asked earlier today about the fact that we used to run Iowa a lot when we were on the Heat Series. I got asked, what's the difference from this to Heat? I told him flat out, the biggest difference with Heat, you can drive really hard in those corners, and you can drive really, you just got to be soft on the entry, but drive hard off exit. Here, it's the complete opposite. You need to be softer on entry, and you need to be even softer off exit. You need to make sure when you set that car up, you've got it lined up just right to get a good run off it, so you can do what Dustin Rowz just did there and make a pass on by. Cindy, the closer Taylor, going in pit road here, maybe eyeing strategy here. Ian Yeager as well, and Jonathan Big Smoke Atkins has gone in pit road here. Kenneth Crawford and Kathleen Crawford have joined us on in, rooting on for old team Rattlesnake here. Well, the old Rattlesnake has got himself the race lead back from Christopher No Shift. Don't call him Pip Pendle. Pendle earlier tried to hold him off and try to stay in the running here, but he couldn't quite clear him. And that now has changed the gap up completely for the race lead. Right behind Pendle, though, is the 24 of McCarthy. The Pride of Texas trying to get herself a W here. She's been in victory lane before, but I don't believe she has been in victory lane yet when it came to the ARCA of the late models. But in the Legends Series, she was definitely the woman that everyone was trying to beat. If it wasn't her, it was always Lucas Gordman, but those two definitely go back and forth with one another, always eyeing each other's victories and eyeing each other's races. Back on around out of turn 3 here, Cindy the closer. Taylor fighting him on in, starting to run him on harder, and as they go on by, she's got a fresher set of tires, but she's already quite a few laps down after that little bobble she had earlier. Remember, folks, they're only allowed 5 sets of tires, and also they're only allowed 3 instant repairs, so you messed up, and you know they're always going to run even harder when they get that figured in. Well, we'll carry him on through here, and as soon as McCarthy gets by here on the front straightaway, we got to cut to a quick commercial break. But when we come back, we'll show you more about the ARCA Series as of late week 7 of season 2. Well, don't go anywhere, folks. We've got a heated battle between everyone. McCarthy is still trying to gain some ground up on Christopher No Shift. Don't call him Pit Bendel. Tonight's race sponsored in part by Bob's Custom Trophies. Bob's Custom Trophies is supplying up the trophies for the winners of each season. If you're looking to get the best hardware or a gift for your loved one or friend set up your way, well, you got to visit bobscustomtrophies.com today to get all that and then some. And if you heard me right, I did say trophies. They are all fighting for these lovely pieces of artwork, of course, obviously brought over from bobscustomtrophies.com. By simracingmerch.com, the one-stop shop for all your sim racing merchandise needs, including shirts, hats, mugs, and more. Be sure to visit Sim Racing Merch today to get your sim racing swag on. And by Pottlez Wrapz. Pottlez Wrapz is looking to have your car, truck, vehicle match your style on the track, or you want to get a hero car to showcase your beautiful car or truck vehicle anywhere in no way, which how, and your design your way. Well, be sure to visit them up at Pottlez Wrapz on Facebook at such a low and affordable price for either or. You can get your creation brought to life on the track or on a card for the internet to see. So what are you waiting for? Visit Pottlez Wrapz today to bring your ideas to life. And as we get situated back on in here, looks like the rattlesnake has got farther and farther away there from Pride of Texas, Kayla McCarthy. McCarthy starting to run it on in a little harder here, trying to stay with these guys and battle through. All drivers doing their own thing. Cindy, the closer, Taylor, the 7, the Legend Series champion right now. She currently is the driver that everyone was kind of looking at all night, all season long, as one of the favorites to get a race win in finally. She's been the bridesmaid for so long, though. It's been amazing to me that she has never won out on the series, but she's always been one of those gals that just continues to strike fear into the hearts of the boys and dominance as well. And a lot of folks going in pit road here, they're trying to get things situated by and try to get themselves some time back here. Jonathan Atkins was one of them there. Big Smoke had to go in for a pit stop here. As we go on board here with him, let's take a look at where he's running his line now. You hear those V8s, man, they just completely get off the throttle and get off the tempo. And they definitely have to get back off the RPM to situate by. Biggest thing is really just maintaining control and awareness of where you're at on the track, and that's what Atkins is doing right now with that car, kind of working them by. So they'll work them on in now as McCarthy and Robert will go on into pit road. Pendle is already in there. I will say this much, it sounds crazy, but I mean there is a way if you wanted to run a very, very long run on this track, but you have to be very careful about how hard you're driving into those corners. But I have seen it before where some drivers can work literally a whole race on one set of tires, or 2 sets if you will, and literally take home the W just because everyone else had to go on pit road for driving too hard. Not often, but it does happen. Roundabout we go here down on the front straightaway here. Now Matthew Hofford will do battle with Ian Yeager in that Fat Boy 9099. Hofford trying to get the Red Bull 84 machine up ahead here, trying to gain some ground, make some moves, making them on in, starting to build up the ground now, builds up the momentum to the inside. They go. Hofford and Yeager will go at it for 10th right now as they continue it on by that front straightaway. Both drivers swinging them around and slinging them in hard. There is some haymakers thrown right here. Will Ian respond? spawn here out of turn 3 into 4. Looks like he's going to stay focused on just running his line and running his race up. Back on in, Jeffrey Oaks in the 20 machine, currently trying to get back up to the front here and stay out, trying to get away from the early troubles he had earlier, kind of bumping around a little bit and getting into some folks. Everything seemed to be a-okay right now, and everything seemed to be just fine and peachy for him, but he's still quite a few laps back and a little bit in position here. Trying to stay in this one as we're about ready to reach the halfway point. Chantel, the throttle Pottle, and that number 5, Pottlez Wrapz, Matt Mills Racing Machine. Just kind of laying low right now as Lance Brandlinger got into the wall there you saw just a minute ago. Brandlinger, the Street Stock Series champion right now. He currently, after last season, he told me earlier today, man, like these ARCA and late models are fun, but you know, when we get into those other stuff, I'm definitely going to be trying to challenge above as much as I can with those. Putting up a good fight though as he is, and Jonathan Big Smoke Atkins has the race lead. He's already up by a few spots here. He's up already in turn 3 and 4. In second place right now, Christopher No Ship, don't call him Pit Pendle. Just now hit up turn 3 here. We'll see if he's able to get some ground up and made up here. But he's got a long way to go in that Ford Fusion mock-up. The Rattlesnake Robert Kahn also kind of counting him up by, got a round down to go, trying to hang in with these folks. There is definitely a lot of racing to be had here between everyone. There's a lot of racing to go down. You know, usually when you're running Iowa Speedway, this track is all about timing and patience, but right now I don't think anything matters to Pendle or Robert. They just want to catch Atkins. Build them on back on in. Everyone's still jockeying for position, trying to get back up into the running here as Kayla McCarthy now quite a few laps back. I believe she had got herself a penalty from pit road, overdrove it in there. And now she has to pay the price, and definitely not what you want to see on her end here. Jeffrey Oaks in the 20, Budweiser machine though stays on with it, still catching up there with the 11 of Warren Young. All drivers doing their own thing, kind of hanging in there for what they can here. This is definitely been some hard racing between everybody and some good battles, but as we've reached the halfway point, my biggest question is how much those tires has everyone burnt in and how much have they used up when it comes down to the big spot, which is really catching up to the race leader, that being Jonathan Atkins right now. And even though Matthew Hopper is a lap down, he's going to try to fight him off here. Builds it on in around turn 3, back to the middle groove. You see a lot of guys and gals will go to the middle or they'll go to the bottom. You don't see anybody run that high side. The high side has no power, really has no grip, where the ARCA Series here. And I think Hopper heard me say that and it's like, oh, I'll show you some grip. But as you see right here, Chantel the Throttle Ball has already made a good run up to him. They're caught up and taking it down to the inside line here. The outside lines where you're going to see a lot of drivers really just kind of lay low and try to let the tires stay out of burned up territory, because it's progressive turns from the bottom to the top will mess you up completely if you're not careful, and they are hard to get a rack around. And rewide salute almost initiated there out of turn 1 as Chantel the Throttle Pottle builds it on in with Jonathan Atkins. Oh, every man and every woman for themselves. Atkins right now still hanging in there, trying to fight him on in. I think she's just trying to stay out of trouble though and let Chantel around him. Probably trying to lay low on the tires and not burn them in so much. Christopher No Shift, don't call him Pit Pendle, is starting to ground up on him and starting to get time back. And Robert Kahn laying low, but he's kind of figuring this one on in here. Again, you're going to see these drivers really take their time and be patient all the way through. They have to be in order to get that car to take a set and really relax in. He's definitely been showcasing it here, but you know, at the end of the day, this is going to be one of those battles where you just kind of have to watch for yourself and keep an eye on until the end. Chantel up on the wall there. She gets it off that, but definitely slowed her up just a little bit. Now Keith Checkmate Taylor in the 8 machine after that little hurdle he had earlier on the start. Now builds them on back on in, down to the outside there. Hoffert stakes to the inside, gets a run there on the bottom. Milled them on in, down at turn 2. So as we build them on back around here yet again, you can see Sydney, the closer, Taylor, not closing in very well tonight. She told me earlier that Iowa's not exactly her favorite track in these ARCA Series. They can get a little risky out there, a little tricky as well. And right now it's definitely showing as Jeffrey Oaks, that 20 gets a little loose there coming off turn 4. Couldn't quite clear the gap and get him situated back in to get around Warren Young there. He's hard charging it though. He's not out of it just yet. We're on board here with Jeffrey. See the line in position and how hard he has to hang on to it, how he has to stay in position just to get around one another, and how much Oaksy is trying to fight his way back on in. Just over 50 laps remaining here, and Atkins currently getting hunted down by quite a few drivers, I would say. The main ones are the two coming at him here as Robert the Rattlesnake Hahn makes a huge move around Brendel. Christopher, no shift, don't call him Pit Bendel. I guarantee you ain't going to take too kindly to that one. Trouble, no. Trouble for Chantel, the throttle pile coming on the front stretch. She is spinning on around, and that's big trouble. Back on in now. Jonathan Atkins still holding his line out there, but Keith Checkmate Taylor still running him in hard, doing everything he can to build him on back up, trying desperately to get a run and a half going here with 48 laps remaining. Time is definitely going to be of the essence for these drivers. They've got to start figuring something out here because this is going to get a little later in the run and really get into troublesome territory if they're not careful. Keith now down the inside line, builds them up out of turn 4. A little bit loose, he gets Goosey off that turn 4 area, and you can see Atkins a little bit in trouble right now because he's got Robert Kahn fighting his way up. He is scratching and clawing his way up there. Whoa, Taylor got a little loose there. Checkmate is going to take the bottom away from Robert. Will that affect him? Doesn't look like it's going to affect him much as they come on down out of turn 4 here. Through and through they go, back on in now. Jonathan Big Smoke Atkins trying to desperately stay ahead of the curve. It doesn't look like it's going to be much though because Robert the Rattlesnake Hahn has caught up to him. Robert's just desperate to get that inside line away from Atkins. Fighting hard. They're really laying down the power. These ARCA cars have, man, they are giving it all it's worth right now. Robert desperately trying to get closer and closer, closes the gap on in. Builds them on through, down at that turn 3, back down in, they go out. And now Chief Checkmate Taylor sees what's going on. Atkins has nowhere to go. He's going to try the slingshot to the inside. He can't get it. Robert the Rattlesnake Hahn once again takes the race lead away. And an awe-inspiring fight there. He had to get that one around. He made a big jump when he needed to and got it switched through exactly the way he needed. Christopher, no shift, don't call him Pit Pendle. Really working him on by. Just hanging in there for what it's worth. Keep Checkmate Taylor just trying to desperately stay out of trouble. back of the drivers right now. I'm getting word that unfortunately Chantel, the throttle pile's motor blew coming into that turn there, so she unfortunately has lost all control there. Tough break curve for her, but right now just see right back in the back here, Cindy DeCloser-Taylor building up some momentum to get around Ian Yeager. Yeager and them going to go out of here. Like everyone kind of spread out right now. The battles are kind of few in between, but you see Atkins right now still fighting hard into the throttle here. That sticky icky 17 machine just dealing with everything he can with Roush 16s of Christopher No Ship, don't call him Bit Bendel, and the Autism Awareness Speaks machine. Fighting him on out, trying to hang in this one. Everybody giving it all they've got on the later half of this run, but I guarantee you they're going to go in pit side one more time, depending on fuel run. As Ian Yeager in that 999 has to go right up into the wall there and got out of trouble zone, but that could cost him here. Only one caution. It was really at the beginning of the race here. Ever since then, it's been quiet, quiet, quiet. Santana, Jonathan Atkins right now builds them on back on in, still hanging in there. Doing for what it's worth, trying to fight them out, but Pendle is not going to be outdone or outclassed here. He wants to hang in this one. Right on around we go here, back on in. Everybody's still jockeying for position, still running their line, running their race. As Cindy, the closer, Taylor, and they go, Daddy go. Number 7 machine has got that 47 of Robert right in her sights. Robert makes the pass. This is just looking more and more and more like Robert Kahn's to lose here. He is just currently staying ahead by 1.5 miles. Well, remember, folks, you can't get too comfortable here. One thing we noticed with Iowa Speedway is that anything can change in a heartbeat. And if you don't know what we mean, well, just go ask the Old School Racing League Series. Build him on back in. Still, Christopher No Ship, don't call him Pip Endel. Battle him on back as Jonathan Big Smoke Atkins at 17 looks to challenge up to the inside line. Build him up, back on in. Hard charge there from Atkins, but unfortunately Pendle finally gets the run and finally can get some ground and time up to get back up there with Robert. But does he have time? He's got a long way to go if he's going to get it done here. See him still running his own line, running his own race. Everybody making their moves and making it count where it needs to the most. As Warren Young in the 11 still dealing with that 999 of Ian Yeager. Yeager's kind of a pesky little one, isn't he? He's not going away on him. They all hold him out and still fight that on in. Yeager now to the inside line, builds up a nice run and a half here. Starting to challenge up Warren. Warren now loses ground and momentum there and ends up getting passed on by. Through and through, they carry him on down that front straightaway here. Yeager has got a good run there, but I think he might have a fresher set of tires than Warren does. Warren currently is 6th, 5th to Jeffrey Oaks, 4th to Lance Brantlinger. 3rd right now is obviously Jonathan Big Smoke Atkins, and then 2nd, Christopher No Ship, don't call him Pit Pendle, with everyone else trying to catch up to Robert the Rattlesnake on right now. McCarthy, after that pit road issue, she really is just struggling to keep up with this and keep up the momentum that carries through here. McCarthy swings it on by to the inside line. Rouse now trying to challenge them up, trying to stay in this one, getting everything they can. Matthew Hofford in the 84 still maybe thinking time for a run and a half, maybe thinking it's time to get going here. But he gets a little too far up there, he gets close to the wall, doesn't go in it this time, but he definitely had a near close call encounter there with as McCarthy gets around him there. And Robert the Rattlesnake Kahn has gone in pit road here, and you know Pendle's probably going to follow right behind the next time by. Lance Brandlinger's joined in as well. Jonathan Atkins, I'm not really sure if he went in pit road already or where he's at. It looks like he's already out. It looks like he decided to go for a lower run. So I think right now his strategy is to try to outpace and outmaneuver them. And Pendle right now, I think his strategy is the same kind of idea. Just trying to run his own area and run his own ground up. Folks, when we come back, we'll see the results of that pit strategy and where everyone places in. But don't go anywhere. When we come back after our little commercial break with the sponsors, we'll see who wins here at Iowa Speedway. Tonight's race is brought to you in part by our good friends over at Matt Mills Racing Team. The best Xfinity team out there is sponsoring and supporting Pedal the Miller Racing League this season. If you want to support Matt Mills Racing today, be sure to follow them up at Matt Mills Racing on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. By Mid-Cities Air Conditioning and Heating. If you find yourself in a little bit of heating and cooling units to be fixed in Keller or Richland, Texas, well, you got to stop on over to Mid-Cities Air Conditioning and Heating for a troubleshoot. They'll get the job done right the first time. By Affordable SEO and Marketing, with services provided like web design, pay-per-click advertising, logo design, business cards, shirts, hats, pens, candies, and more. It's time you outrank your competition online today. By Amber's Floral Creations. If you're looking for the special flowers for that special someone, be sure to visit and call up Amber's Floral Creations at 321-228-3135. By Bob's Custom Trophies and Gifts. Bob's Custom Trophies and Gifts is supplying up the trophies for the winners of each season. If you're looking to get the best hardware or gifts set up your way for your loved one, family member, or friend, you got to visit up www.bobscustomtrophies.com today to get only the finest and best. By SimRacingMerch.com, the one-stop shop for all your sim racing merchandise needs, including shirts, hats, mugs, and more. Be sure to visit SimRacingMerch.com today to get your sim racing swag on. And by Pottlez Wrapz. If you're looking to have your car, truck, vehicle, mattress style on the track, or have a hero car to go with it, well, then be sure to hit up Pottlez Wrapz for just that. At such a low and affordable price, you can get your creations brought to life on the track with designs made exclusively in-house by Pottlez Wrapz, as well as a hero card ground that you can show off in the internet world here with iRacing. What are you waiting for? Visit Pottlez Wrapz today to bring your ideas to life. And if you guys are wondering what a hero card is basically when you take the car that you have in your iRacing or your legit racing world, and what they do is basically they give it a template design you can use for your own personal desire and needs. And basically they set it up to where it's designed in a very unique way, in a very unique style that only Pottlez Wrapz can come up with and can do up. And I can tell you right now, I've got one myself. If you go up on here on PTM Racing TV, you actually will see some of the designs that have come through here. Some pretty awesome designs, pretty sweet stuff. So if you guys do want to get that featured up and show it off on the internet and maybe even get it turned into a legit card, then, you know, hey, I visited them up about it. Just a heads up, they're only $10 a piece. Yeah, right now, Robert the Rattlesnake Kahn and that Mopar 47 still at it here with Lance Brandlinger and that 3 machine currently a lap down. And now Christopher No Shift, don't call him Pit Pendle, now a lap down. So looks like third spot is going to go to Lance Brandlinger, which that's a little bit of a funny thing to say when you're in third place and you're a lap down of all things and you're battling with a race leader here. Jonathan Big Smoke Atkins running his line, running his area up. 21 laps left to go, and Robert Kahn is kind of desperate to stay ahead, trying to find a way to get ahead of this one and battle back on in. Can he hold out and stay in position here with this one working it by? Lance Brandlinger now goes to the inside. I think he's trying to get around him again, trying to hard charge it through. He's getting a little bit of help there from Robert. Robert now trying to stay with him here as we got 20 laps left to go in this one. Throw him on through here now. Jonathan Big Smoke Atkins trying to get the sticky icky 17 machine ahead. Up in the wall! Into the wall, he gets it out of turn 2, and that might have just sealed his fate. Atkins now has the race lead, and, Robert Kahn has the race lead. Atkins did have it, but now he's going to have to try to find a way to get it back around Robert Kahn. The old rattlesnake himself just made a big jump when he needed to most, and Lance Brandlinger is kind of in the middle of all this. I'm not sure if maybe Jonathan just overdrove it or what happened there, but either way, that car took a nice little jump and a half there, and that slowed him down tremendously. And now he's just desperately trying to cling on to whatever life he has left in there. Carry him on through down out of turn 2 here. Atkins now builds him up, trying to stay in this. Lance Brandlinger in the 3 machine, fighting for all he's got. Kenneth Crawford, problems. No, that's not my line, thank you. Speaking of Dustin Stoneacre, I wonder where he went tonight. Well, we'll figure out that next time. But 17 laps to go. If Atkins in that 17 is going to get himself the race win, he's going to have to start charging a little harder here. He might have overdone it, though, going into that wall. It might have slowed him up too much, and Robert might have just been able to capitalize here on that, as the rest of our field are spread out and about. Cindy, the closer, Taylor in the 7, trying to build it in there with the 8 of Keith Taylor. Old checkmate versus the closer. Who will be the one to outdo the other? Brother and sister once again, new battle here as the GoDaddy Go 7 machine versus the Goodwrench Service Home Depot split personality of Keith Checkmate Taylor here. Back on around we go here. Everyone's still jockeying for position, still running their line up and running their area in. Neither driver wants to quit, neither one wants to give. All of them still looking for a run and a half, trying to figure this one on by. Now down the road they go out of turn 3, back on in turn 4 with only 14 laps remaining. Atkins is going to try everything he can to put pushed up with Lance Brandlinger. Brandlinger doing all he's got to stay in this one. Brandlinger fighting it out with Matthew Hoppert. Hoppert to the inside line. The old Red Bull 84, though, is not on the spot in the lap that Brandlinger is on. He's a lap down ahead behind him. One thing I've noticed in these ARCA cars, those pit strategies in those cars don't take too kindly to try to work around that stuff. That's hard to really maintain good momentum and stability. And Atkins right now is extremely struggling to stay up there. But right now he is starting to actually close the gap a little bit, if you will, on Robert. But Robert, man, he's just not giving him any chances here. Unless Robert Kahn makes a mistake coming into those corners, I don't see him changing this one up anytime soon. We go on the overhead view here. We show you what's going on with Robert. You see those progressively banked turns in. Like I said, they switch from being on the corner end to the high side to being a long straightaway. That's what makes them so difficult to really master here. And that's kind of what Robert's been working with all day long. He's just kind of making it look way too easy out there, hanging on. And you can see that car wanting to get loose on him, but he's fighting it off so well. He knows how it needs to drive and how it needs to handle, and that's what's giving him the race victory here. Or the race lead, I should say. Through on bound down yet again. Brandlinger kind of falling further and further behind. Might be a chance for other drivers to take this one by. 10 laps remaining in this one. Everyone's still going for what they got. We're on through here. Jonathan Big Smoke Atkins in the 68-17 machine, trying desperately to get one last full throttle assault at Robert Kahn, but Kahn might have all but sealed his fate after he got into the wall. Like I said in racing, folks, it takes one mistake, one bobble, one spin to ruin your race and cost you everything. I know that all too well from the Dirt Stock Series. I've spun it out, I've lost control, I've got into the wall just the slightest bit. My steering gets messed up, and all of a sudden I can't feel the tires and I can't feel the track because I got no steering in there to really feel all that. But right now, man, 8 laps to go. This one is pretty much all but sealed away for Robert the Rattlesnake Kahn if he can just continue, keep running the line that he's been doing and hang in there. Jonathan Atkins give credit where credit's due, man. He's fighting. He's not giving up anytime soon. Through on around down turn 1, back down to turn 2. You can see how hard Atkins is desperately trying to get that car to go, but it just, there's no momentum left. You see the distance from how far they are in between each other. Atkins is literally being put so far back behind. Robert Kahn is just pretty much on auto control right now. He's on autopilot. 6 laps remain in this one. Fire up the old burners and fire up the old gas tank. I think it's time we have some sweet corn and some Busch Light, because Robert the Rattlesnake Kahn looks like he's all but fried away this one. The tires are burnt as can be on Atkins. I only can tell because he's going up to the high side now to try to get the car to stabilize in. And 5 laps to go. Robert has yet to really lift off from that bottom line there. He just continues to gravitate towards it and hit his marks there. On about out of turn 4 we go here, run the front straightaway. Still at it here, 4 laps to go. Jonathan Atkins still desperately trying to get in there. Back on in they go here, down at about out of turn 4. One more time, 3 laps to go. These guys are hard charging their way to the end. Robert Kahn, though, pretty much, you can say what you will, but man, when he gets it going, he gets it down, he definitely always has that little kick, that little boost in that step to get himself up to the front, up to the top. Down now, turn 4. 1 lap to go before the white. The green flag is flying in the air. Right back out of turn 3 into 4 here. Everyone's still running their line, but this man right here, Robert the Rattlesnake Kahn, with the white flag high in the air, has all but sealed their fates tonight. Roundabout turn 3 into 4. Fire up the burners, folks. Robert the Rattlesnake Kahn takes it to victory lane, although he almost sputted there out of the front stretch. Don't do what I did a long time ago there, bud. Second place will go to Jonathan Big Smoke Atkins. Third will actually go to Jeffrey Oakes in the 20 machine, managing to pull out a nice little finish there for himself. Not the most exciting race, but sometimes it doesn't need to be. It just needs to be what it needs to run, and that was definitely the case for Robert the Rattlesnake Kahn and Jonathan Atkins. And let's be honest, folks, if you wanted excitement, no offense, but I'd say Flyby kind of beat that one out after that finish. And Dylan Hervatin, if you're still listening to this, I still blame you for making me lose my voice. That was a fun race to call, though, to the end. I loved every minute of it. So the victory going to Robert the Rattlesnake Kahn once again, managing to pull himself a victory here in a good race. Gabriel S. Atkins saying, way to go, babe. Good job, everybody. Can't really stick around. I know he's going to have a little line about saying he's smoking out wives, so just remember that. It's coming. I know it. We're waiting on Jeffrey Oakes at the moment. We're also waiting on Jonathan Atkins. Atkins has joined in the booth here. He got out of the car pretty quick. He wasn't quite ready for that. I don't think he was really too happy about that finish, but I don't think that's anything he could have done there. Kathleen Crawford, my team, Rattlesnake, proud of you. Definitely for sure there. He pulls away the W and gets himself a nice battle on to the top. He's been working hard all season long and always been battling every time he gets out there. Well, we're still waiting on Jeffrey, so we'll go ahead and bring in old Atkins. All right, now, folks, he joins me on the booth. This is Jonathan Big Smoke Atkins in the 17 Icky Sticky Ghost Machine. And Atkins, I got to ask you, man, I think you had a pretty good chance to stay up with Robert, but then you got into the wall. What happened there, bud?
I just got a little too high and got stuck to it and couldn't get off. It happens. I was willing it for all it was worth, trying to stay ahead of him. He was really quick there. So
Definitely for sure there. I mean, still a pretty good finish all around and a good race nonetheless. So, I mean, with all said and done, you always put up a fight there with Robert, but I got to ask you, who do you want to thank here for this finish tonight in the second place finish?
I think Little Indy RC Speedway and Sticky Icky and my smoking hot wife.
Well, Kimberly, there you go. He said it for you. Atkins, congratulations on a second place finish yet again. Hopefully maybe a little trip to victory lane sometime in the future, buddy.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. Jonathan Big Smoke Atkins, everybody, in that 17 machine, finishing second. Now we get into our third spot here tonight. This is Jeffrey Oaks in the Budweiser number 20 machine. Jeffrey, I mean, considering you were a lap down, a third place finish here, I would say it's probably something you weren't expecting too much, but what a finish there nonetheless to get that out of the way.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a feeling it was going to be a green flag race. Cindy had some internet issues there at the beginning that caused that first caution, and then Pottlez and I made some contact, and luckily I was able to save it. I was still half a lap down, so I lost all that track position. But to battle back to third after being a half lap down in last place, I'll take that.
Definitely for sure there, man. You had a long road and a long fight to the end, but it ended up going your way and taking home the W here tonight. Or not W. God, taking home third place here. Podium is what I meant. I say the W a lot. I don't know why, but anyway, I gotta ask you, man. Who do you want to thank here for this third place finish tonight?
First off, my wife, PTM Racing League, Pottlez Wrapz, Matt Mills Racing, Bob's Trophy Designs, Edward's Setup Shop, I know McConey's. Anybody that puts this on, it's a lot of fun. We're on a string of good podium finishes here. I think like the last 5 races or something I've been in the podium. I'm going to keep it going.
Definitely for sure there, my man. Well, nevertheless here, a good finish and a good battle. Hopefully the podiums will stick around and maybe a race win in the near future again for you, buddy. Congratulations here tonight.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Thanks, buddy.
Jeffrey Oaks, everyone in that 20 machine. The Budweiser, of course, getting himself a nice finish. And now, as we join on in, it's the old rattlesnake himself, Robert Kahn. Oops. Robert the Rattlesnake Kahn now joins us on in the booth. Robert, congratulations yet again on a victory here. What a race you had to go through to get to this point. What do you want to say here out here? What do you want to say here out here? What would you say when you're going through your mind?
It was a good race. It was a lot of tire wear, and that track kind of plays into my driving style, which is real loose off and being able to kind of like manhandle a car. But I would say, and would have never expected to win this race because it's usually my worst track. So I'm just happy to get a win on a track I don't usually win at.
Definitely for sure there.
One of those tracks that you had to fight all the way through.
You somehow managed to get around all that short track issue, so it ended up giving you the victory here tonight. I gotta ask you, man, who do you want to thank for this finish tonight?
A whole bunch. I mean, we have Bob's Custom Trophies, Matt Mills Racing, Affordable SEO, McConey Setup Shop, Pottlez Wrapz for having some badass looking wraps she makes, Mid City Air Conditioning and Heating, Sim Racing Labs, and Amber's Floral Creations.
All right, man.
Most of all to you, Mr. Shriver.
Why does everyone always think
I don't understand.
Anyway, y'all did the hard work tonight. I did the easy work. That was a lot of fun to call. So congratulations here for this one, Robert. We'll see you next time out here, buddy.
Thanks, bud. Have a good night, man.
You too, sir. All right, as we call it a night here, folks, that's going to wrap it up here tonight for the Matt Mills Racing Team, Mid-Cities Air Conditioning and Heating, Affordable SEO and Marketing, Amber's Floral Creations, Bob's Custom Trophies and Gifts, SimRacingMerch.com, and the Pottlez Wrapz ARCA Series for Pedal to the Metal Racing League. What a night it was here tonight. Great battles and great racing all the way through. some shockers in between and only one caution. That's definitely saying something for how much this league has grown from all those times ago. But for now, we must say goodbye to everyone for now and call it a night. We will see you soon enough, though, as we return to racing tomorrow night for Pure Speed Elite Series as they will head off to Charlotte Motor Speedway. But for now, folks, it's been a long night, trust me. Sorry I was losing my voice earlier and calling the excitement of old flyby and everything and all the action we've seen tonight. It was a great show and a great time. We appreciate everyone for tuning on in. Till the next time we see the green flag fly, we wanted to tell you to be safe, to take care, to be with God as always. We love you all. Be safe. Good night. Okay, I'm gonna rant on. Good night, everybody.